This year's World AIDS Day is focused on those living with HIV and ending discrimination, often based on old or false information. For example, according to the National AIDS Trust, only 16% of people are aware that if someone is HIV positive and on effective treatments, they cannot pass on the virus and can live a long and very healthy life. After being diagnosed in 2018, our next guest shared this video with the world.
2 years ago, I got really sick. I had so many tests done that came back with indefinite results. I felt like I was spending weeks going to different doctors' offices trying to figure out what was wrong with me. And then one day I got a phone call at work from my doctor telling me that I was HIV positive.
We have Miles Sexton with us in studio. Welcome.
Thank you so much for having me.
I love that we get to talk in person because I'm a big fan of your Instagram.
Thank you.
Why was it so important for you to share that video in that moment?
Honestly, I needed to reclaim my power. You know, for 2 years, I really kept my status a secret, and I was just internalizing so much shame. And I was like, no, I can't let this sort of trauma be overbearing on my life. And by posting that video, I felt like it was holding me accountable to me being like, no, I need to fight. Really just against this sort of stigma that exists around HIV. So
one of the parts of your story that I love as well is you also had to fight misinformation and stigma that you had.
I knew nothing about HIV when I was diagnosed. I was like, I'm 27 years old and I'm gonna die. And I was just, so shocked when I finally got to see a specialist and they're like, no, there's medication that you can take and you can be undetectable so you can't transmit it to anyone else. And I was like, what?
Right.
Who knew?
And that's the information that you now make a point of sharing. After seeing that posted video, CanFAR reached out. They asked you to be a national ambassador.
Yes.
Great choice. You're a strong advocate through youth. You work a lot with CanFAR and Sexfluent, which speaks to young people in particular. I remember being a young person in the 80s and the 90s. There was mystery and misinformation and shame. Stigmas still exist for young people in 2022. What are they?
I mean, I think a lot of the same stigmas are unfortunately still existed. I think, sexual health is really kind of still taught through the lens of shame and abstinence. And I don't think that that's the correct way to do it. I think we need to empower youth in order to take care of their bodies, right? Because I think that for me, that was my biggest issue is that I really was not informed correctly. So then I was I had all the shame and I never wanted to search out the right education, so.
Your work is not just for queer youth, it is also for allies. What does being a true ally mean to you?
I think the biggest thing with, allyship is to just invest in topics or areas that you don't know things about, and because for myself, I can't always be the teacher. So I think going out there and searching out new information about topics, I think is really a way that you can show you're being an ally, because you're creating a safer space, I think, for all when you go and learn about new topics.
Safe space means less stigma.
100%.
What would you like to share with anyone who might be watching this interview today, who has either received a diagnosis or sitting where you were 4 years ago, afraid, maybe sitting with some shame? And how did you reconcile your feelings?
I mean, one of the biggest pieces I want people to understand is that I have so much joy in my life.
You do. Follow Miles at Instagram. Tons of joy.
Exactly. And I don't want people to think that this is the end or that this is going to be something that's going to stop them from accomplishing their dreams. It's almost motivated me even more in my life. I've had the most spectacular year this year, and it's it's become this fire inside of me to be okay, I want to get out there. I want to see the world. I want to accomplish all the things that I want. And I just really want people to take that away, because for me, I think I was like, oh, this is the end. And it's not. It's really a new beginning, I think, for so many people.
And I think that you have definitely role modeled that.
Yeah,
always.
Thank you.
Miles, great to meet you. Great to have you here in studio.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for being here.
Hey, thanks for watching. If you liked this, be sure to subscribe here, or you can check out more Your Morning videos right here.